Good afternoon or good morning from wherever you are. My name is Karen Hung, and I am the Corporate Relations Executive at the U.S. Pan Asian American Chamber of Commerce Education Foundation. And you all know us, we're most affectionately known as U.S. PAC. And we are the most established and effective organization that represents Pan Asian Americans in business. Our mission is to be your gateway to all the different opportunities that are out there. So whether you're a corporate agency, government agency, another nonprofit, or as our national president, CEO, founder, and leader, Susan Allen likes to call them, our crown jewels, the Pan Asian American businesses, other minority and diverse owned businesses. We are with you today and always. So welcome to Live Talk. We started the series in 2020 at the very beginning of the lockdown, the pandemic, 3 days after Congress announced the CARES Act and the first round of that lovely PPP resource. We've been online with you since to bring important education and opportunities straight to your screen. And as we talk about opportunities, I want to talk about one of the greatest opportunities that has really come up, especially in the past year, which is Executive Order 13985 under the Biden administration, which was advancing racial equity and support for the underserved communities through the federal government. So what that means is that is a mandated increase of diverse and minority-owned spend by federal agencies from not only 5% to 15%. And we can't wait to see how that really opens the sky and opportunities for us all. One of the biggest buyers out there is the federal government, as many of our small businesses know and keep their eye on. And with us today is Pamela D, the Deputy Officer of the U.S. Army Office of Small Business Programs. And guess what? U.S. Army is one of the biggest spenders out there. So let's go ahead and get started. Pamela, welcome. Welcome. And can you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Pam Callicutt. I'm the Deputy Director of the Army's Office of Small Business Programs. We're located in the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. As the Deputy Director for the Army's Office of Small Business Programs, our office is responsible for issuing policy to our small business enterprise across the Army, establishing small business goals for our commands across the Army, and for making sure that small businesses get a fair share in the acquisitions that the Army awards. We are also the advisor to the Secretary of the Army and to the Army senior leadership.
Great. Thanks, Pamela. And like I mentioned, the Live Talk series and what US PAC does is really brings subject matter experts like yourself to our viewers to talk about all the different opportunities that are out there, as well as demystifying some of the do's and don'ts, as well as helping to understand how, it's actually pretty easy to work with you all. So first question is it true that every company or organization out there that wishes to work with the U.S. Department of Army needs a facility clearance?
So a facility clearance requirement is based on the solicitation that's issued, what type of work is being done under the solicitation. So an example would be if a solicitation requires a secret facility or a secret clearance for the personnel that will be performing the work on the contract. In order to get your personnel, your employees, a clearance, then you have to have a facility clearance at the secret level. If the work requires a top secret clearance and you have a secret facility clearance, then you would have to first get your facility cleared at the top secret level before your employees would be eligible to get a top secret clearance.
That's great. So then now that we know we've kind of started off on that foot, what kind of small businesses is the U.S. Army looking to work with? And maybe can you give us some examples of small business that you currently employ?
So the Army, there is no specific small business that the Army is looking to work with. We're looking for small businesses that have the capabilities to meet our capability gaps, and to help us meet our mission requirements. We work with small businesses that provide construction services. Um, we work with small businesses that provide IT services, whether it's cloud services. And we work with small businesses that provide professional services across the Army enterprise. So there's a various small businesses that we work with. It depends on the next code that the small business has and the requirement that is being solicited by the requiring activity.
Great. And, I'm glad you kind of talk about technology because, at USPAC, a lot of our members do a lot of different things, not all small businesses alike. And actually, just recently in October, we held our very first innovation symposium where we did focus on emerging technology type businesses. Many of them were looking to do business with the government. So this is actually so great that you're with us today. On that same vein, is it true that every technology company that wants to work with the U.S. Army, a very common question that we have heard that we wanted to ask you is, do they need FedRAMP certification? Can you help us answer that?
So FedRAMP certification, it is mandatory for all executive agency cloud deployments and service modules for low, moderate, and high rank impact levels. All cloud services holding federal data require FedRAMP authorization. So this allows the U.S. government agencies to use cloud services securely and efficiently. So if you're an IT firm and you're selling cloud services to the federal government, then FedRAMP certification is a requirement. But not all small businesses doing business with the federal government require that certification unless, again, you're doing cloud services and that you're have data that you would be storing.
Great, thank you. And I think that really does lead us to the next question because, like I mentioned, we just had a huge cluster of our Asian American and other diverse-owned businesses that were with us in Bethesda, Maryland, for our innovation symposium. So that's why technology was really at the top of my mind just now. But a lot of our small businesses out there do more than just technology. They do all kinds of different product services and other professional work. On that same topic, a lot of our Asian American and other diverse owned businesses do a lot of things overseas, even though they're based here. And when you and I were kind of talking to get to know each other a little bit more, I think we had a really great eye-opening conversation to talk about what exactly that means for a lot of our businesses out there that are just, the questions they don't know to ask, the questions they want to ask. So maybe the best way to open this next topic is, can you tell us a little bit more about what is foreign influence and really who's subject to it and where can they go from there?
Sure. So foreign influence is a substantial financial interest in a country or in any foreign owned or operated business that could make the individual vulnerable to foreign influence. So as long as you are registered in sam.gov and you fill out the representations and certification and the ownership of your company is not owned or controlled by a foreign country, then you're eligible to do business with the federal government.
Thank you for that. And I think that's this is going to be a great place for me to kind of talk a little bit about one of USPAC's signature programs, which is our business certification. Our business certification, I love that we're talking about demystifying things out there because it's a very common misconception that USPAC only certifies Asian American owned businesses, which actually isn't true. In 1998, we started our minority business certification program, which very similar to some of the things that you talked about. We boil it down to looking at the ownership. 51% of U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident ownership of businesses to get certified through USPAC. You can definitely you can find out more about it on our website or, sending an email to info@uspac.com, which I see right below here. And it's really a great opportunity out there, especially with Executive Order 13985 that I mentioned at the top of our live talk when we're opening up. And really just knowing that, we've been in this business for such a long time now that, we started walking all across the entire United States to talk about the importance of business certification at the request, actually, from the federal government and major corporations who wanted to know specifically who are Asian Americans, where are they, what do you do, and where else to go. They came to US PAC to find them. So with that, Pamela, what kind of programs do you have in place that would support Asian American small businesses? And how do these programs and education opportunities maximize opportunities for small businesses and the U.S. Army?
Great. So the Army doesn't have specific programs for Asian Americans. However, in accordance with the Small Business Administration's definition of a small disadvantaged business, which is who's targeted in Executive Order 13985, and increasing awards to the underserved group, then the definition with the SBA, it is socially disadvantaged groups as those who have been historically subject to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural biases within the larger American culture. So Asian Americans fall into that group, and they would be considered a small disadvantaged business. Again, it's based on your representations and certifications and how a company is, who owns the company when you do your representation and certifications. But in addition to that, an Asian American could be a small disadvantaged business, but they also could be a woman-owned small business. They could be a hub zone and Asian American business. They could be a service disabled vet and an Asian American owned business. So Asian American owned business could fall in some of the other socioeconomic categories where we have goals. And so that way we would be getting the small disadvantaged business goal achieved, but we also would be getting credit for if you're a woman owned or a service disabled vet or any other socioeconomic category that they may have. That is, although there's no specific set aside for Asian owned businesses, because they do fall under the small business category, then there are opportunities there for small businesses. Those opportunities are located at our website. I see it at the bottom of the screen. It's https //osbp.army.mil. When you go to our website, there will be a tab that at the top it says resources, and we have our command POCs, their emails, and all of that. In addition to that, we have our acquisition forecast on our website also, where small business can go there. They can click on the acquisition forecast for each of our buying commands, and they can see what opportunities are listed there.
That's great. Thank you so much for that information. And, hopefully that becomes one of the goals that, as we continue to collaborate together between US PAC and US Department of Army, I think there's a very bright future and path forward to work together. So as we talk about looking forward, let's talk about some of your goals for 2023 and some of the major accomplishments that you all have been able to do this year.
Sure. So the Army's goals for fiscal year 23 for overall small business, our goal is 23.75%. For small disadvantaged business, our goal is 15%. And our goal last year for small disadvantaged business was 11%. So as you can see, our goal was increased this year in FY 23 to 15%. Our woman-owned small business goal for FY 23 is 5%. Our hub zone goal is 3%, and our service disabled vet goal was is 3% also. Our greatest accomplishment in FY22 was achieving and exceeding our SDB goal. So our goal, I think I said 11% in the beginning, but it was actually for FY22, 12.28%. I think 11% was the federal government goal, but the Army's goal was 12.28%. Our achievement was 14.9%, which was a total of $13.6 billion awarded to small disadvantaged business. So with COVID and awards that we were awarding to COVID, which those companies were no longer small businesses, they were large business. The COVID dollars did impact the Army's ability to achieve all of our small business goals for FY22. However, we are excited that we were able to meet our small disadvantaged business goal as a part of the president's Build Back Better agenda and Executive Order 13985. For FY22 overall, our goal and achievements for small business, our goal was 26.6%, and we achieved 25.40%. For woman-owned small business, our goal was 5%, and we achieved 4.27%. For service disabled veteran-owned small business, our goal was 3%, and we achieved 2.58%. And for Hub Zone, our goal was 3%, and our achievement was 2.68%. So although we didn't achieve the other goals, as you can see, based on the percentages that I provided, that we weren't far from achieving those goals.
And I think that's where one of the best parts of partnership and collaboration between organizations like US PAC and the US Department and Army really come in, because there you have it, folks. For everyone listening in, there's a lot of opportunities out there. The US Department of Army is hitting some of their goals, but they also have some opportunities out there. And I think that's really where US PAC, I mentioned at the beginning, our mission is to be that gateway to connect business to business, business to government, business to corporations, and all around make sure that we are able to mutually benefit from everything that's coming out from the sky, and really to be able to advance forward diversity, equity, inclusion, supplier diversity as a whole. So I think this is where this entire live talk is so important. We really talked about a lot of different things on today's show, which was, number one, demystifying the entire process, right? Like you heard it from Pamela herself. It's really not that hard. We just have to go through some of the questions. And yes, there's some certifications that you have to get, but it's really not that difficult. Like I think you hear, she wants to work with you, and whatever we can do to help educate, train, and bridge that gap, that's what US PAC is here for, and how many organizations work with us. Let us continue to help be that pipeline and gateway and extra procurement arm to assist wherever you have those opportunities, because our members that are all tuning in, they're ready, they're waiting, they're just saying, show me the money and tell me how to do it, and what do I need to do to be there. So with that, I think we can probably wrap up. Pamela, do you have any other final thoughts that you want to share? Maybe there was a question that I didn't ask and something that came to mind that, especially as we talk about opportunities, demystifying the process, and, really showing all of our viewers out there how easy it is to work with you. Do you have any final thoughts?
Sure, thank you. So I would like to let your community know that currently the Army has a solicitation out. It's for our Mentor Protege program. We don't match mentors and proteges. However, it's an opportunity for small businesses. So proteges can be other small businesses, but there are large businesses that have proteges also. You would go to our website, osbp.army.mil, click on Mentor Protege. That gives you information regarding the Mentor Protege program. For the actual solicitation, if you go to our social media platforms, and so the Army is on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Army Small Biz. And biz is it's ARMY small SMALL and then biz. So if you go to Army Small Biz on all of those platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. That's where we post a lot of our outreach events. We post information to small businesses about upcoming solicitations or forecasting or, just any information so that our small business community is aware of what's going on with the Army, but not just with the Army. We also post outreach events from our other partners in the federal government because the Army is part of the federal Office of Small Business Program utilization, the OSIBU councils, and we all work together to publish outreach events that we all have going on to provide that information to small businesses so that they are aware of what's going on. So I encourage you to go to our social media platforms and look at what the Army and the other federal agencies where we're posting that information out on our social media platforms. We also post training opportunities and information opportunities that are being podcast and things like that are being held by the Defense Acquisition University. So there is an upcoming podcast that we posted on our social media platforms regarding, foreign interests. So that's a great one that's coming up. Again, I welcome you to go to our social media platforms to see what's going on with the Army, what we're doing, what new initiatives the Army has, where we're trying to fill capability gaps, where we're trying to make sure that we can meet or exceed our small business goals, all of our small business goals, and specifically our small disadvantaged business goals in accordance with Executive Order 13985. So the Army is open for business with small businesses. We look forward to engaging with you and thank you. I wish all of you happy holidays, and I want to thank you for inviting the Army to Live Talk today.
Of course. And, on behalf of all of our viewers, sign us up. Let's go. And for anyone that may have missed some of the things that Pamela mentioned just now, I know our team is in the chat. I think they're capturing some of the links and URLs that you've put out there, and they're putting it in our chat. And of course, you can always reach out to us, info@uspac.com to get any of those pieces of really golden nuggets of information. So Pamela, I'd like to go ahead and bring this to a close. I'm so grateful to have you on behalf of the U.S. Army Small Business Office Department to come join us today. I think that, these kind of conversations are so important because if they don't, if our small business community doesn't get to hear directly from you to give them that encouragement and information and, really let them know that you're a resource that's right there. It sometimes becomes very hard and we miss opportunities. So that's why we're here. And speaking of what's coming up next, I know we have a lot of different opportunities that are coming out there with USPAC. I think the two most important things I want to call everyone's attention to is that we have just dropped our USPAC Celebration Business Plus Procurement Conference dates. I hope to see you all in June 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2023 in Las Vegas. We're going to be at the Westgate Casino and Resort. So Pamela, maybe you might be able to come with us and join us. It's an invitation on the spot. So we hope to see all you coming out there in Vegas, come meet with us in person, do a one-on-one matchmakings, doing business with corporations, government, chief procurement officer programs, and the like. It's our biggest event of the entire year. And we also have our Fast 100 Asian American Business Growing Program. We'll have applications. I know we're going to put it down in the link below as well. So we hope to have everyone go and apply. And with that, thank you so much for joining us on Live Talk. We'll keep it nice and tidy. Thank you so much. I believe this is the last program we have for the year. So thank you for joining us 2022. Can't wait to see you all in 2023. Thank you. Stay safe, be happy, be well. And that's all for now.